Good evening, colleagues. We take the opportunity to welcome everyone to this very exciting program, should I say, first of its kind, in the profession, as far back as I can think. My name is Isaac Edupong. I'm the chairman of the Capacity Building and Mentorship Committee of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. This program is coming under the auspices of this committee, and it is labeled Time with the Legends. I think we will get the PSGH to make their statement and give us some of the rationale, the background of this program. From the committee's point of view, our excitement is the fact that we've gotten the opportunity to have this program run today. And we all look forward to a very exciting session for what we have all been yearning for. They say the school of life is never ending. It means we never stop learning. And one of the fastest ways of learning is listening to, watching, observing, and actually copying what successful people have done and what you can learn from what they have achieved. This is what this program is about. We are excited that we have the opportunity to get this series along, and this is the maiden edition. We feel very privileged to have gotten the opportunity to introduce this in the programs of the society. I will shortly invite the Vice President, who is representing the President, who is out of town, to give us the PSGA's perspectives, rationale, and background of this program. So I will kindly invite Pharm Kwabena Asante Ofer, who is with us online, to give us the opening remarks for this program.
Thank you very much, Isaac. Can you hear me well?
Loud and clear, Kwabena.
Thank you, and I agree with you that it's exciting that this program is we're able to have this program today. And congratulations to you and your team for the hard work that you have put in to be able to make sure that this program happens. So on behalf of the President, we are grateful to you for your hard work, for your leadership, your creativity making this happen. And colleagues on the call, good evening, and I would like to welcome all of you to this meeting edition of the Time with the Legends. We appreciate the time that you are spending with us, but also that this is an opportunity. While we are happy about bringing this to you, we're also excited about the opportunity that we all have to be able to learn from this program. As you all know, the profession is quite diverse, and we have pharmacists who have not only worked in certain areas, but also succeeded in those areas all across the various parts of the profession, healthcare, and other parts of life in general. We have people who are legends in academia, in regulation, in policy, in marketing, in industry, in several other places. We have distinguished men and women in there. And through this program, the committee is able to work through the society to bring them people once in a while to come and talk to us about their experiences and how we can also fashion our own lives to be able to excel even more than they did when they were in those areas. Now, I am particularly excited about the person who is going to start the whole show, who has been advertised, Mr. Abraham Gyesie. I remember that when I was I became a pharmacist first. I saw him at an AGM opening ceremony where he was the MC. The way he spoke, the poise, the confidence, the style, how sleek he was, the way he was dressed, his command over the language, the way, everything, the way, the class he displayed in emceeing the program. I remember saying to myself that this is somebody to watch. And one day I'd like to be like him in terms of how we speak in public. I'm still learning. I don't think anybody can catch up with Mr. Gyesie in that regard, but that's just one small aspect of who he is that I know that a lot of people like me are also looking up to him as well. But he's not just somebody who speaks well. He has an illustrious, distinguished career and other things that he has engaged in that I'm sure that he'll be talking about in this session. And so the PHH fully supports this program and would like to endorse it and also encourage members to encourage other members to be part of it. This is just the first of a series, and others will be happening. But I'm hoping that all of us will take it seriously and take the opportunity to learn from these people. I'm not sure what the format is going to be, whether people may be permitted to ask or drop questions into the chat box. But if that is allowed, please let us do that and learn as much as we can from this. When I was preparing for this session, I was reading about mentors, and I remember I came across something that Oprah Winfrey said about mentorship or mentors. She said that a mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope that is inside yourself. A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope that is inside yourself. So through this, we are all endowed with so much. And sometimes due to life circumstances and other things, we ourselves are not even aware of what we are capable of. And mentors are there to help us to see the hope that is inside us. And so through this session with Abraham Gyesie, I hope that all of us, including myself, will be able to see through what he says, the hope that is inside of us. And on that note, once again, I'd like to thank the committee for bringing us this session. And I hope that we can all enjoy it and learn something from it. Thank you. Over to you, Isaac.
Thank you very much, Pamela. And I think there is very little I can add to the background and the rationale for this program. From the committee's point of view, we are particularly interested in how members would take advantage of this event in their learning curve, in the various channels that we use to learn, talking about reading, talking about learning from others' experiences. The data really shows that human as we are, we learn faster when we can copy. It may take just one little statement somebody may hear today to change the trajectory of his career, of his life, or aspirations. So for us, we keenly encourage that members pay attention and particularly see where they can pick a learning from. Our guest is exciting, and I want us to just flow along with him. We are very lucky to have with us as the moderator of this program a young pharmacist. Again, the program seems to be targeted at young pharmacists, and for a reason, and a good one as such. We have one of them here to virtually be asking the questions from the perspective of her own colleagues. And so we are excited to have her with us in the person of Miss Rebecca Araba Wallace.
Thank you very much, Isaac. I'm really, really honored to be here today. I'm also excited as well. And I can't wait for you to meet our legend today.
Fantastic. Okay, so which of the names do I use? Araba, Wallace, Rebecca?
We can go with Araba.
Araba is fine. So great. I have only just, is it a question or comment? Maybe a question.
You're making me feel like I'm the legend here.
Yes, so just takes the legendship for now. Just a second of it. What do you think about a program of such? I mean, I've been a member for some time. I would say this is the first time it's happening. From your colleagues and your peers, what do you think of a program of such nature?
I think it's a very interesting program. a very fascinating initiative to see that it didn't just come from our end that we wanted to learn from you, but the older ones who had been in the profession also want to pass down knowledge and info to us young ones so that we can follow and reach, higher heights that they reach and even go above and beyond. So yeah, I'm interested, I'm excited. I came here to learn actually. You can see me with my pen and paper.
Yeah.
So yes, that's
Fantastic.
what I think about.
A lot of excitement being generated around the program. You'll be the pilot, and I'll be off your screen very soon. We envisage that this program will be there for long. Hopefully, in future, you will be the legend. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So on that note, colleagues, I would like to leave the scene and leave the space for Araba. Araba will get us the legend, our maiden legend, as we all sit back and enjoy.
Thank you very much for passing the baton to me.
Great.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the maiden edition of Time with the Legend. It's an initiative. We're going to break. Oh, okay. Sure. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. My name is Pharm and I'll be your moderator today. So, I like to say this is a maiden edition of the Time with the Legends. It's an initiative that has been proudly brought to you by the Capacity Building and Mentorship Committee of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. Now, as stated earlier, this platform aims to provide young pharmacists and other pharmacists who are seeking new career opportunities a space to interact with senior pharmacists who have carved out their careers across many disciplines in this esteemed profession. The program aims to give you hope as well as inspire mentorship. So, we'll delve straight into who our legend is. So our maiden edition legend is a pharmacist who has over 40 years experience in the pharmaceutical space, both in pharmaceutical marketing and management. He is an author, of a book titled From Despair to Hope, the HIV and AIDS story of Papa Kofi and his family. He is a consultant. He's a father of 4. He's an alumnus of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He is a fellow of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana and a fellow of the Ghana College of Pharmacists. He is a current editor of the Health and Development News Online. He was an active Rotarian who served both as president of the Rotary Club Accra and also the district secretary of the Rotary International District 9100. He has multiple publications under his belt, one of which he's so proud of, which is titled The Challenges of Our Time to the Profession of Pharmacy in Developing Countries, in particular reference to West Africa. He has served as a consultant on various capacities to many institutions such as the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Pharmacy Council, the University of Ghana School of Pharmacy, just to name a few. I mean, you should see the portfolio. As a passionate writer and publisher, he also edited and published Med Index, and this is a medical index of pharmaceutical specialties, branded generics, herbal drugs, and one-stop directory of doctors, pharmaceutical companies, superintendent pharmacists, registered midwives, and licensed chemical sellers. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Pharm Abraham Gyesie. Hello, Pharm.
Hello, Araba.
I don't know how to feel calling you Pharm. Usually I say Pharm to my mates and sitting here calling you Pharm. Maybe you should give me something. How should I call you?
Just call me Abraham.
Abraham, wonderful. So, hello, welcome, legend Abraham. All right. I mean, I want to find out, I want to start on a very wonderful note. So, as a pharmacist, 40 years experience, in the pharmaceutical space, how is your daily life like? What do you do when you wake up, your itinerary for the day?
When I wake up, the first thing I do is to thank God for giving me the opportunity to see a brand new day. And then I meditate to discuss with Him, literally, my plans for the day, which has already been fashioned out. And then having done that, then it means I have charged my batteries for the day. Second, I'm always thinking of providing service. And if my name is Abraham Gyesie, but I have a middle name. The middle name is Service.
Wow.
And once you can do something to improve other people's lives, when you can make someone else smile, then the day has been well served.
Wonderful.
So basically, this is my philosophy of living day by day.
Interesting. It is interesting. Yeah. Okay, so I don't want to dump this on you as a bombshell, but I can't help it. You are a pharmacist.
Yes, I am.
And usually the first thing everyone wants to know is why pharmacy?
As a matter of fact, it's interesting. There isn't enough of career guidance in our system, at least at the time I was growing up. So it isn't that somebody advised me to do pharmacy, no. But in my family, there was a senior cousin of mine who had done some nursing at Confirmatory Hospital. And I thought of doing something in the health sector.
Okay.
But not that anybody had given me any ideas at all. It just happened by chance. Let's be very blunt. So I eventually I found myself at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I went to the Faculty of Pharmacy and I graduated as a pharmacist in 1967.
Wow.
Where were you? You on your way here?
I don't think I didn't even set off.
So I graduated as a pharmacist from Kane University. I was among the 4th batch of graduates from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So, shall I say, I just went to do pharmacy by chance.
By chance.
But I found it very interesting because the pharmacy profession is actually a calling from God to give of your best services to your fellow creatures, not only to help them lead healthier lives, but also to help them live better lives. See, pharmacy is a job. It is a profession. It is a calling. It's a business. And the training is such that pharmacists are really some of the most versatile people you can find on this planet. They can do virtually anything as long as you give them the tools to work with.
I have never heard anybody say pharmacy is a calling before. So, and I mean, I'm taking it from you. Next time somebody asks me why I chose pharmacy, I'll proudly tell them that it's a calling.
Yes.
Impressive,
yes.
impressive. So, you mentioned that you finished pharmacy in 1967.
Yes, indeed.
Well, that's just 10 years after Ghana gained its independence.
Yes, indeed.
I'm wondering, how was pharmacy like back then? You had just graduated. You said you were the fourth batch. Of course, people were still finding their feet regarding the profession. Can you tell us how your early career life was like? How was it like?
Well, career life means having graduated from tech and haven't come into the field. Okay. Those days, life was, I wouldn't say easy, but organized. Because as students of pharmacy, we virtually had jobs waiting for us. So we didn't have to struggle to find jobs. And then also, pharmacists were highly respected because there weren't many pharmacists.
Okay.
If university is turning out about 20 or so pharmacists per year, I don't know how many we are turning out these days. So it was a different story altogether. Mm-hmm. But basically, the story remains the same. It's just that pharmacists in those days used to pride ourselves as custodians of drugs.
Interesting.
That's rather an archaic way of looking at it in the modern times. And at that time, all our activities were drug-centered, the medicine, the drug. And then later on, the whole concept began to change into more emphasis on the patient, on the client. Okay. And now it is even changing still. The patient lives in a certain environment. Okay. So the pharmacist, you must understand the environment. You must understand the economics of the social parameters. Then, nowadays, medicine itself has become mechanical, digitalized. Mm-hmm. So you must understand machines. Okay. You must understand how they work. But more importantly, pharmacists today ought to understand that he is only a member of a healthcare delivery team, okay, and that there are other colleagues who are also doing their bit, and the best effect can only be achieved when all are working together as a team. So it's the same thing different, if I might say. Mm-hmm. But I must say that today's young pharmacist is a very versatile individual. Okay. I must say that the training they are getting is a little bit far more advanced than what we got in our early days. Our days were just traditional pharmacy. Okay. But now, as I said, we never studied anything about business or sociology or psychology or anything of those things. But today, you find that most of the curricula in the various universities are trying to embrace the fact that pharmacy has changed. It is no longer emphasizing the custodian of drugs, but emphasizing how to place the client at the center of it all in order to provide the client with the best services. Of course, that the pharmacist is only a part of a team, and the team, everybody must work together.
Wow, that's interesting. I like the fact that you actually compared what was happening back then to now, which leads me to my next question. Mm-hmm. So I want to know, usually when we come out as pharmacists, there are many disciplines now. There's either you are a medical representative, or you go into community pharmacy, or you go into hospital pharmacy, manufacturing. We used to run away from an academia. So back then, were these disciplines still out there? Were you introduced to these disciplines before you came out, or you got exposed to them?
Let me say that you got exposed to them and you had to search for them yourself. And that is where the question of mentorship becomes very, very necessary. And mentorship wasn't only necessary then, it is even necessary now. Because in today's world, if you don't acquire relevant skills, you'll soon find yourself obsolete. Okay. I mean, can you imagine today's pharmacists not being able to be computer literate?
Oh, I can't imagine it.
In our days, there were no computers, you see, and so things have changed. Now, the whole thing is that mentorship today is very important. As I said, the pharmacist is working in a certain environment. The family environment, the community environment, the district environment, the regional environment, the national environment, and the global environment. Now, how does the pharmacist perform effectively without acquiring the necessary skills? And therefore, schools of pharmacy need to reorganize their curricula such as to include current skills in order that the pharmacists that come out don't become too obsolete too soon. Yes, you must be computer literate. You must understand that you're going to work with other colleagues, and therefore you must know that teamwork is necessary. You must understand that pharmacists, apart from being a business, in addition to being a profession, it's also a calling. And if you don't have the heart to provide humane services, you better not go there at all. So mentorship is very important, which is why I think I should commend the current leadership of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana for introducing this program for the first time. And I'm so highly honored, or shall I say, I feel so highly honored to be the first so-called legend to be interviewed. Thanks be to God.
We are honored, extremely honored to have you to be our first legend. So I wanted to find out, you mentioned mentorship. Back to you as a person. Who was your mentor? Who showed you the ropes as you started and then also progressed on to now to training others also and being a mentor? Is there somebody who stood out for you in a company or in a space? Can you let us in on that part of your life?
All right. While at Tech, there were some very brilliant colleagues of mine. And because we were all friends and, shall we say, peers, we were able to share and connect with our ideas. And for me, my mentor and classmate and colleague was Pabno Ohinimenu, pharmacist Ohinimenu.
I wanted to know as if I knew him, but I don't.
He's a past president of the society.
Oh.
Yes. And we had some brilliant colleagues. I think of our batch, I don't think more than 4 or 5 of us are still alive, including myself, but so be it. But the idea is that we also had Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy, Professor Taki, who amazed us. He actually made us to see how real it is when we talk about research. Prof was a fantastic research scientist, and we could see the results of his work, and he was a dedicated dean, ensuring that the pharmacy students got the very best, not only in the classroom and the laboratories, but also the very best of learning situations on the campus. So I was excited by my peers. Professor Taki stood out, not only as the dean of the faculty, but as the man we all wanted to emulate. He was steady and firm in principle and completely dedicated to his students. So this is how it started. And then when I got into practice, I realized that there were some crop of pharmacists that appeared to be nice, like you, decently dressed, happy, and very knowledgeable, highly skilled. That's how I got interested in the idea of becoming a medical representative.
Wow.
Indeed, a senior colleague, Mr. Odamerton, of blessed memory, he was the then manager for Glaxo. At that time, it was Glaxo Ghana, Glaxo Alembres, and he actually came to Tech to push me and say, Amy, let's go. I want you to come and join the company as a medical rep. I was so excited, I left Tech and followed him to Accra to get my first job. And I have always been a medical rep in the areas of pharmaceutical sales and marketing and promotion. That has been my constituency, if you like. And I think the medical reps, among the crop of most knowledgeable and well-paid and very, shall I say, they are the diplomats in pharmacy, if you like.
I wouldn't say anything. Okay, that's interesting. Those who are medical reps, I hope you are listening very, very keenly.
In fact, I think they are planning a session with me, medical rep, back then and today, because a few things have changed and they need to be aware of it.
Wow, wow, interesting. So, still back to comparing pharmacy back then. This is 40 years experience, rich experience.
Thank you.
And I wanted to find out, you said that pharmacy to you was a calling, and I mean you were picked out from tech to Accra to start your job as a medical representative. I want to know the challenges in pharmacy. Initially when I asked your experience, your early career life, I wanted to find out, was there any expectations that wasn't met when you came out of pharmacy? The pharmacy you knew in school and the pharmacy that you came to meet. What were the challenges that you met? Of course, I know you have a paper on it, so I believe that can lead us to that paper that you wrote about the challenges we have in the profession.
As a matter of fact, being a medical representative gave me the opportunity of interacting not only with pharmacists.
Wonderful.
I interacted with doctors, nurses, midwives, biomedical people, and the clients. And therefore, I had a very broad knowledge about all the actors in the healthcare space. And I realized that there are several challenges. First of all, teamwork wasn't there, and there was always some turf protection. Some professionals thought they were better than the others, and there was always this love-hate relationships between the professionals, and therefore the patient wasn't getting, shall I say, the very best that he or she deserved. So I have always been interested in finding ways of means of advocating for and promoting teamwork among health professionals in order to give the patient safe, affordable, reliable, and humane healthcare treatment. And this can only be best done when we all work together. Yeah. Now, having said that, I also realized that for pharmacy profession, as well as the pharmacists, to give a good account of themselves, you need to be current. You need to be current. So you can't be a pharmacist if you stop reading. You will go stale. You can't be a pharmacist if you don't keep abreast with new drugs that are coming. In those days, the only antibiotic was a PG, penicillin. Then Pfizer came with the almighty terramycin. That was what we had for a long time before the ciprofloxacins came and all what have you. So the pharmacists must always be abreast with times, and this is where I must congratulate the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana in organizing regular career development courses for its members. So the challenges are there, but pharmacists are up to the task, and they are doing their best. But I keep on saying it is not only a profession, it is not only a business, but it is a calling, because you must always have the interest of the patient at heart.
Wow, very rich information that we are getting here. Of course, we have seen a paradigm shift move from drugs to patient-centered care. I came to meet patient-centered care, being praised wherever I went. So looking at you, listening to you talk about it, meaning that it's been there for a while, but now it's in implementation. And pharmacists who are to be current are actually riding on.
Yes, and today, if pharmacists are not, digitally inclined, very soon there will be no jobs for you. We're talking about e-pharmacy, which has been launched by His Excellency the Vice President, and which the Pharmaceutical Society has embraced. All sorts of things are coming. Indeed, that small thing, what do you call it, coronavirus, has come to teach the whole of mankind that we are all on this planet together. WHO is now promoting one health and one planet. And therefore, unless we all work together, everyone bringing to the table the skills they have, no one is safe. And pharmacists do have a role to play in this thing, in protecting the earth, in protecting the climate, and in protecting the clients that we are all serving. Indeed, it might interest you to note that while I was a young pharmacist, then based in Lagos, there was the whole idea of the need for the pharmaceutical societies in West Africa to get together. And at that time, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana selected me since I was based in Lagos, and my job was such that I was traveling through the West African countries. They selected me in a voluntary capacity as the interim coordinator to bring pharmacists along the West Coast together. And because I was traveling regularly through Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Gambia, each time I was in these countries, I used the occasion to talk with the pharmaceutical society leaders and galvanize them together. And this is what eventually led us to inaugurate in Monrovia, Liberia, what was then called the West African Pharmaceutical Federation. This federation has now metamorphosed into what we now have as the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists. So I'm historically connected to it and something that I'm very proud of. Now, at the inauguration of the West African Pharmaceutical Federation in Monrovia, I presented a position paper, which was published, that was in 1976, by the way. And this was published in the Journal of Pharmacy, of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. It was published in the March edition, 1977.
Yes, yes.
And I'm so glad that the issues that I raised then about the challenges facing the profession of pharmacy in developing countries in general, but in the West Africa in particular, were valid then as they are today. And I'm glad to say that the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana has decided that this article must be republished for the younger pharmacists to know that we still have work to do in raising pharmacy professionals, as well as raising the involvement of pharmacists in providing the best healthcare we can for our people. So it's an area that I'm proud of, and people need to know about that. I'm hoping that when the article is published, a lot more people will read. And then the schools of pharmacy will gear themselves up into the kinds of training programs they want to put on, and the various authorities will also gear themselves up as to what things to put in place, not only for Ghana, but for West Africa, in the interest of better healthcare and in the interest of teamwork. So that was another service area that I did. It might also interest you to know, if I may continue, ma'am.
I'm just here to say wow.
It might also interest you to know that I also published a Med Index. Med Index is a medical index of pharmaceutical specialties and branded generics. It was also an index of health professionals in Ghana, and that was the reference book everybody was using. It was highly supported by the Ministry of Health, and I'm also glad about that one. And last but not least, I must say that I have trained a whole lot of people, pharmacists, particularly in the areas of pharmaceutical marketing and promotion, medical representation, and some of these guys are big-time leaders in their own right, and it gives me great satisfaction.
Wow, that is so rich. If you are listening, please, I'd like to know what you want to ask from Abraham Gyesie, especially the medical rep. This is really fertile land that you can really reap something from. I mean, I don't want to be biased. Everyone else also can. Anyway, if you were watching and you were listening, he was mentioning dates as far back as 1976, 1977. This is not a man you should play with. I hope you keep listening. And also, please send in your questions. Okay, from Abraham, I would like to know something. Is there one particular time in your career life, which is what we are, focusing on today, that's made a difference? Whether it was challenging, whether it was exciting, was it a turning point for you? Can you share with us a moment like that or a period of time like that?
Well, I think I remember that when I joined Sandoz, I was given a huge challenge. My boss visited from Basel, Switzerland, and handed me a map. It was a map of West Africa, shows you where all the good roads and the bad roads, where there are filling stations, where there are hotels or restaurants, everything else, and said, Abraham, we see you a very dynamic young man, and we would like you to go and open up the markets for us in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. There's a brand new car. They handed over a brand new car to me with the keys. And the next day or two thereafter, they left by air and they left. So it was up to me to travel by road alone. Of course, I was young and very adventurous, so it didn't present a problem to me at that time. I thought it was an opportunity to explore West Africa. But the map was so good, I was able to follow it, and actually went to Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, and came back, spending 3.5 months on the road. And in each country, ensuring that we have a distributor and a medical representative to carry on with the business of Sandoz. That's how I established Sandoz business in West Africa for them. So that is one of the, shall I say, the greatest challenges I faced as a young man then. But after having completed that thing, I felt very proud. And I came back and I had stories to tell my people. Sometimes when I was telling them the story, they felt some of them were far-fetched, but I was telling them everything, you know, and, but I'm not going to tell you about everything here. It was a huge challenge. And as a result of that work, I was promoted and transferred to Nigeria. That's why I went to Nigeria to the first place to start. Okay. I was the product and training manager for the pharmaceutical division of Sandoz. Mm-hmm. And when I left Sandoz, I then worked for Abbott Laboratories. It was during that time that I went to Liberia, Sierra Leone, Gambia, to help galvanize the leaders there to form the West African Pharmaceutical Federation, which today is the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists, and I'm a proud fellow of the college.
This is interesting. I'm sitting here with a pioneer. I just can't believe that I'm just sitting here with you and we are having a conversation like this.
I'm just Abraham, that's all. Everything is by the grace of God.
Interesting. Wonderful, wonderful. So you said it was both a challenging and a proud time and moment for you. Please let us know more of your exciting and proud times, the moments that you were recognized by all that you have done. I mean, with the people, you went to Lagos, you went to, which is Nigeria, you went to Sierra Leone, you went to the Gambia. I should say you
I made very good friends all the way.
You must have, and you should be known well, I mean, worldwide, in fact.
I made very good friends all the way, and indeed, my bosses in Sandoz, they actually sent me a gold lapel pin.
Wow, tell us about it.
According to them, I had been evaluated, and they evaluate all the individual salespeople as to your value to the company. That is, how much has the company spent on you, and how much revenue have you brought in? And that year, I was the best, most productive field staff of Sandoz, and that's why they gave me that gold lapel pin. I still have it.
I mean, it's something valuable.
And of course, I'm also glad the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana made me a fellow. Yeah. And as I said, I'm also a fellow of the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists and a fellow of the Ghana College of Pharmacists, of which I'm very proud. The Ghana College of Pharmacists is doing fantastic work in its determination to prosecute its mandate, and I'm in there with them trying to play my little role to assist in whichever way possible.
Wow, this is interesting. You're a big man, Bernard will say. No. You have to take from me that you're a big man. Okay, so I want to find out, what would you say has helped you get to where you are? We've mentioned mentorship.
Yes.
And I want to know, I'm sure there's more you can give with this 40 plus years of experience. What has gotten you to where you are now? Now you're a fellow to multiple colleges. You have helped with the inauguration and even the galvanizing of certain institutions that are now prestigious as where they are. Tell us how you got there.
I must say that you must be determined to succeed.
Determination.
You must be determined to succeed. And determination is not enough. You must take the appropriate steps to succeed. And you must design and appoint for yourself good mentors and approach them to assist you. You know, yes. Because I saw some guys that were extremely good at their job. I made friends with them, you know, learned the tricks of the trade, how to be an effective medical rep. I learned from them. But more importantly, learning is a lifelong career. You should never stop learning. Pharmacists who don't attend training programs will soon become obsolete. Yes. Pharmacists who don't improve upon themselves and acquire new skills will soon become obsolete. And pharmacists who don't give out their very best will no longer be useful to themselves. And if you're not useful to yourself, you can't be useful to anybody else. So mentorship is very important. The determination to succeed is very important. And the willingness at all times to improve upon yourself, acquire new skills, and to stay abreast. When you stop reading, your mind stops growing. If you stop reading, your mind stops growing. So you should never, never stop reading. But above all, you should know that somebody is watching. I never knew today I'll be sitting down here and to be celebrated as the first in the series of legends. So me too, I'm a legend today. Thanks be to God. Amen.
Amen. Wonderful. So, as you've stated, as young pharmacists or as people who want to reach or even surpass where Pharm Abraham has, we should be determined to succeed.
Yes.
We should approach mentors. You should see mentors and approach them. That means we need to take the initiative to approach them, even if they don't approach you. And also, you should be willing to learn, as learning is a lifelong activity. But you mentioned something. You said, of course, we don't see, we are called Pharm Abraham Gyesie. There's no middle name, but you mentioned the middle name. And
My middle name is Service, yes.
Excellent, Service. I thought you were going to add that to the values, but I think you put it aside to talk about
I think we should talk
service.
about it as a separate subject.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So before that, whilst I was reading his profile, you know that he was the president of the Rotary Club in Accra. I mean, aside pharmacy, he did other things. So service is really imprinted in who Pharm Abraham Gyesie is. Can you please tell us how service has helped you throughout your life?
As a young student in Pokuai Secondary School, I formed the school branch of the Voluntary Work Camps Association of Ghana. Those days we should call it VOLU. And the mandate of VOLU was to inculcate the spirit of patriotism in the youth, and at the same time inculcate the spirit of volunteerism in the youth, so that every young man must know that Ghana first and you second. And that spirit of volunteerism enabled us to undertake work camps in villages and undertake all kinds of projects to improve on the lives of the people. And therefore, my long vacations were all spent attending work camps, north, south, east, and west. And that way, I got to know virtually all north, south, east, and west of Ghana.
Wow.
I learned their cultures. We lived with the people. When we went to voluntary work camps, we stayed with them in the villages. And we took part in everything in the village, and I really mean everything there, you know. So and that was one type of service. I carried it on to tech.
Okay.
We formed a group there, and during the weekends, we even organized weekend work camps in the surrounding villages to go and do community and social work with them. And then eventually I became the national chairman of the Voluntary Work Camp Association of Ghana. Wow. Finally became the national vice president of the Ghana National Youth Council before the military people came and disbanded it. Then also, because service is my middle name, when as a youngster, I joined Rotary. that's the premier Rotary Club in Ghana, Rotary Club of Accra. I rose to become the president of the club. I rose to become district governor's representative, and also finally as the district secretary of Rotary International District 9100, which at that time comprised all the countries between Senegal and Benin, or Togo. Yeah, yes. So Rotary's motto is service above self. Volu's motto is service to mankind. And then later on I became a Freemason.
Okay.
Freemason is a wonderful organization that combines service and morality. And I've also risen to become one of the top members of the organization. I've also written a book about Freemasonry, which has been acclaimed as one of the best ever written from these parts of the world. So everywhere I find the opportunity to associate with people rendering services, there I'll be. And wherever I go, I shine, no two ways about it, because I watch, I study, I emulate, and I try to excel. So all these things keep me happy and keep me busy and give me a very content life, and I thank God for it all.
Wow, it's been so interesting listening to you. I mean, we go on and on to ask you about so many things that you have done. Anyways, please, if you are listening, please send in your questions that you have for Pharm Abraham Gyesie, anything that you want to know about him. You know, he said something before we came to City. He said, you think you know somebody, but you may not know the person. So this is the chance or the time to ask Pharm Abraham Gyesie. If you've been watching him from afar, up close and personal, he's here. If there's any question you want to ask him career-wise or whatever he's done that you want to emulate, that you want to know about, he's here. You can ask him. So please put your questions in the chat box.
Oh, by the way, talking about service, I have written a book. It's called From Despair to Hope.
Wow.
The HIV and AIDS story of Papa Kofi and his family. I launched it at Kempinski Hotel 1st September. A couple of years back, and this book is one that has come to help us stamp out HIV and AIDS. It's written in very simple language, anybody and everybody can understand, and I'm glad to say that it's been approved even as a reader for senior high schools in Ghana, and anyone can read it. That is one. Now that I'm getting older and not younger, I'm reducing physical activity, but increasing brain activity. So I have launched the Health and Development News Online. This is a free monthly online publication that I do for health professionals, their stakeholders and clients, and the public. It's free of charge.
Wow. Every
month. And since launching it in April last year, we've produced it religiously every month.
Wow.
And it's getting better and better. And we hope that sooner than later, we will get support to more or less improve the quality of our production, expand our readership to include not only the professionals, but those in the training institutions and schools and what have you. So it's free.
It's free.
People can go to my website and it's all there.
Okay. So please, we'll be making that available. The name of the publication is actually Health and Development News.
Health and Development News Online.
News Online.
It's out every month.
He's tech
and it's
savvy.
free.
And it's free. Okay. So it's been wonderful having you, Pharm Abraham Gyesie, as our maiden edition legend. Of course, I knew you, but now I've actually been open to more about you, your achievements, and all that you have done. So we'd like to check to see if we'll get some questions online, but we can go for a short.
On that note, Arba, permit me to thank the Pharmaceutical Society.
Sure.
With all my heart. I don't deserve to be the maiden guest for Time with the Legends. There are better legends than me, and they're all over the place. Okay. But I presume that they had to start with someone. But I'm glad to be here. I accept the honor, and I'm proud of it. And I'm sure someday, maybe I'll come and interview you as the next legend.
I'll be looking forward to that. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Okay. Wow. I'm getting comments. Am I permitted to read these comments from Gyesie? Okay. So someone says, thank you very much, sir, for sharing your life story. And he asks, please, in your practice in the other West African countries, can you share the similarities and differences in pharmacy practices between them and Ghana? And he says that he wants to take some lessons from there. He wants to know whether some differences and similarities.
Oh, we are basically the same people. All along West Africa, we are basically the same people. We have the same cultures, the same moods, and we are friendly, and not much difference. But the most important thing is that in today's world, that is what the West African postgraduate pharmacists is propagating.
Okay.
That once you're a fellow, and once you're a pharmacist, you should be able to practice seamlessly in all the other countries. You know, we are about the same. We are about the same. I don't want to say which is better than which, but I must add that Nigerians are more aggressive and more prone for development than we are. Wow. We are a bit docile here, you know, and we're always thinking about Ghana being the hub of this. Nigeria, they are big, they are plenty, and they have money, and they are doing things. We should not pretend that they are not there. We should up our game here.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Someone here says, you are a fine pharmacist,
thank you,
sales trainer, and motivator.
Thank
so
you.
See, the sheet you are sitting in is for you.
Thank you.
You're a good mentor. And he says he benefited from your sales training program during your days at Higher Pharma.
Okay.
All right. So someone says, way to go, Mr. Gyesie. He says he was one of the privileged pharmacists to have his first ever training as a medical rep straight from pharmacy school from you. So say, you've been all around. It's beautiful to see that people recognize and they know who you are. And you've been a mentor to most of these people around. Okay.
All over West Africa.
All over West Africa. I'm sorry. All over West Africa. Anyway.
But one thing they don't know.
Yeah, tell us.
You know, I love music. Particularly traditional African music, blues and jazz. And shall I say, I used to sing a lot. I still sing, but not as I used to do in the olden days. And therefore, you will find that at virtually our Pharmaceutical Society conferences, I was MC or involved in one program or the other, and we really enjoyed ourselves. Yes. So some people used to call me a professional MC, but I love to serve my society.
Wow, professional MC. I like MCing too. I should come for some tips from you.
Anytime.
Anytime. Thank you so much for
And I can train you in just 3 sessions.
Wow.
You already have all the qualities.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, I really want that time is always a bad idea. Time is always the bad person in our midst. But I want us to close with you. Is there anything that you want to leave us with? Of course, there's been the part where you've mentioned as young pharmacists, we should be determined, we should be abreast with time, we should be ready to serve in all capacities. We are diverse and we can move in anywhere, in any space of life, and we will excel. That's all I've picked from you. Anyway.
That is true.
Wonderful. So leave us with something, a very wonderful note.
First of all, be true to yourself. Have faith in God and confidence in yourself. That's all.
So crisp, so short, so beautifully said. So, we thank you so much for joining us for our maiden edition for Time with the Legends. Expect more sessions with wonderful legends as you have met our maiden legend who has set on a very good course on a beautiful note on this series that has been brought to you by the Capacity Building and Mentorship Committee of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. So to let you off, we will invite Pharm Nana, that is the chairperson for the Strategic Plan Coordinating Committee head, to close us. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time. Thank you for joining us.
Last part that you talked about MC, I actually had my debut MCing or co-hosting PSGH AGM, the biggest event in PSGH, with you, sir. And it has always been the things that I learned from you on that day. I think it was in 2007. And it's been something that I have carried along. So yes, I think one of the reasons I also am in love with PSGH is because of you and that interaction that you gave me the very first time I had the opportunity to co-host PSGH AGM with you. So thank you very much. Time with the legends, it's been an exciting evening, and there's more to come as part of the strategic plan for this year and next year. We want to create an atmosphere of mentorship for us pharmacists. Let us learn from those that are before us, those that have the knowledge. I appreciate and I applaud the sentiments that a pharmacist that ceases to learn becomes obsolete and not useful not useful to yourself. Quote unquote, pharmacist Abraham Gyesie. And I am so privileged to give the closing remarks. We look forward to more sessions, and we hope that you have equally enjoyed and equally learned, have been insightful, and you've been inspired to continue to be friends of the human race as we continue to uphold and upheld the pharmacy values and the profession farms. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you and have a good evening. Back to you, Bill.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again. I thought I left you, but I'm back. I think I really love you. Anyway, it's been wonderful having you. I believe there were some questions and some inquiries about all the papers that Pharm Abraham had written. We will make that available to you, and also the links to the health and development
News
online as well. So don't worry. It's been wonderful having you, and it's been wonderful for you to have me too, as well as Pharm Abraham. Thank you so much for letting me into your life, and as well as showing that to the entire pharmacy profession. I'm sure it's not just us, but other people join in and they got inspired, which is the aim of this program. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and God richly bless you.
Amen.